Hello students. So in 11th lecture of solid state we will discuss about packing efficiency of unit cells. So what is packing efficiency? So packing efficiency is when constituent particles of solids are arranged in crystal. They may have different type of arrangements, but in all of these arrangement they will left some space empty, and we know this space as voids. Okay, so as we discussed already, we have two different type of voids, tetrahedral and octahedral void. So constituent particles will create some free space between them, and some space inside the unit cell will be occupied by those particles. So percentage of occupied space by particles is known as packing efficiency. So that means we have to find the percentage of occupied space inside the unit cell. So we will discuss three different unit cell in this case, and we will try to find their packing efficiencies. But we won't follow order mentioned in textbook. In textbook, first is face centered unit cell, then we have body centered unit cell, and then we have primitive unit cell. But first we will discuss about packing efficiency of primitive cell, then we will discuss about FCC, and then body centered unit cell. Before that, let us discuss about diagonal lines. So this is our cube, and this is two different type of diagonal lines which you can find in cubic system. So in this cube, one yellow line is passing through the plane of cube. So it is known as face diagonal line because it is passing from the face of given cube. And this blue line which is passing through the whole cube, it is called body diagonal line. Okay, so we have two different type of lines, face diagonal and body diagonal. Now what is the relationship between these diagonal lines and length of edge of unit cell? So let us find it. Now let us call our edge length A. That means edge of unit cell, it is equal to A. Now this face diagonal line, that means diagonal line passing through the face of unit cell, let us call it B. And this one line passing through the whole unit cell, let us call it C. So A is our edge length, B is our face diagonal line, and C is our body diagonal line. Okay, so just remember, A is edge length, B is face diagonal, C is body diagonal line. Now let us find the relationship between them. So as you can see, in this case, if we observe from this point of view, you will notice we have a 90-degree angle here, and we have a triangle which has this 90-degree angle. Okay, so that means we can use Pythagoras equation. This face diagonal line is A, and this is edge length A. Okay, so we have three sides of this triangle, A, and B. So according to Pythagoras rule, B square is equal to 2A square for this given triangle, or we can say that B is equal to root 2A. So this is the relationship between face diagonal line and edge length. Okay, remember this relation, B is equal to root 2A, or face diagonal line is equal to root 2A. Now let us discuss about our body diagonal line. So this is our body diagonal line. Okay, and again you will notice it also creates a triangle just like before. So in this case, first of all, let us remove some additional lines which we don't need, so we can observe proper triangle. Okay, so now all the additional lines which we do not need, we removed it. So now you can see we have another triangle, and in this case this is our edge length A. This will be face diagonal line B, and this will be body diagonal line C. Okay, so we have three different type of edges or sides here, A, B and C. Now let us find relationship between them using Pythagoras rule, because we have a 90-degree angle again here. So for given triangle A, B and C, we can say that C square is equal to B square plus A square. But we already know that B square is equal to 2A square. As mentioned in previous calculation, face diagonal line is equal to root 2A. That means B square is equal to 2A square. So let us put this value in the equation. So C square is equal to 2A square plus A square. That means C square will become 3A square, or C is equal to root 3A. Again remember this relation. Body diagonal line C is equal to root 2A. Okay, so we have two different type of relationships. B is equal to root 2A, that means face diagonal is equal to root 2A, and C is equal to root 3A, that means body diagonal is equal to root 3 multiplied by edge length. Okay, so remember these two relationships. Now let us move on our first unit cell. So as we can see, we have a primitive unit cell because it contains spheres at corners only. No other locations are occupied by spheres. So now let us discuss for this unit cell. First of all, how many spheres we have inside this unit cell. That means we need to find occupied space by sphere. And to do this, first we need to find number of spheres which occupies space in it. So as we know, corner spheres contributes 1 by 8 per unit cell, and we have total 8 of them at each corner. That means total contribution is equal to 1. That means all of these 8 spheres present at the corner actually contributes equals to 1 sphere only. So in primitive unit cell, only 1 sphere will occupy space, or occupied space is equal to 1 sphere. Now how to find packing efficiency or percentage of occupied volume. So simple thing, for that we need occupied volume divided by total volume multiply by 100. Okay, so now in this case occupied volume is from sphere, because spheres occupies volume inside the unit cell. Now total volume, that means volume of unit cell. Now as we know, volume of unit cell can be obtained by multiplying age of unit cell 3 times. That means a cube. A cube is equal to volume of unit cell. That means it is cubic shape. So a cube is equal to volume of cube. So here we have volume problem. Occupied volume is by spheres, and volume of spheres will be obtained in the relation of radius of sphere, and total volume is volume of cube, and volume of cube will be obtained in the relation of edge length. So first of all we have to find relationship between these two. Okay, if you can find relationship between A and R, that means edge length and radius of sphere, then we can calculate our equation. Okay, so first of all let us find the relationship between these two for given unit cell. So this is our primitive unit cell, and let us try to find relationship between A and R. So as we can see here, from if we observe this unit cell from one side, you will see that radius of first sphere and radius of second sphere. Okay, so here we have r and r. It is equal to edge length of given unit cell. Okay, so from this observation we can say that in this case a is equal to 2r, or for primitive unit cell r is equal to a by 2. Okay, remember these both equations. For current situation or calculation we need this equation, but this relation also it is also useful in certain calculations, and we will discuss about these type of calculations in future. Okay, so first of all just remember this relation, a is equal to 2r for primitive unit cell. Now let us discuss about packing efficiency. So as discussed earlier, our equation will be occupied volume divided by total volume multiply by 100. Now as mentioned, occupied volume is by spheres, and how many spheres we have in primitive unit cell? So as discussed earlier, we have one sphere. So volume of one sphere is equal to our occupied volume. Now what is the equation of volume of sphere? So it is 4 by 3 pi r cube. Okay, so we have one sphere multiply by volume of spheres equation. Now total volume. So as mentioned, total volume is equal to a cube, because we have cubic shape here. But relationship between a and r, so a is equal to 2r, so a cube will become 2r whole cube is equal to 8r cube. So let us place this value in our equation. So our equation will be 1 multiplied by 4 by 3 pi r cube divided by 8r cube multiplied by 100. So simple thing, now we can cancel out r cube, and remaining values they have digits only. You can place the value of pi here and then you can calculate it, and finally you will get 52.36%. Okay, so this will be the packing efficiency of primitive unit cell. That means almost half space is empty inside the unit cell. Okay, so 52.36 or roughly 52.4% occupied space, and remaining will be empty, that means voids. Okay, so this is the packing efficiency of primitive unit cell. Now let us move on second unit cell. This is face centered unit cell. Now we are trying to find packing efficiency of HCP or CCP. Both have same type of efficiency. So we already know its answer. It was already mentioned in 3D close packing structures. So let us find this value with mathematics. So as you can see, we have a face centered unit cell, and if we observe its front face or one of the face, this is our observation. Now let us delete additional spheres which we do not need right now. That means we are just ignoring them. They will be present, but to simplify our figure, let us just remove them for some time. Okay, so we removed additional spheres, and we have only spheres present at one face. Now here we have our face diagonal line. Okay, so this one is our face diagonal line which is passing through the face. So as we can see, what is the relationship between this face diagonal line and radius of given spheres? So as we can see, let us find it. From corner to surface of this corner sphere, that means r. Now radius of this face centered sphere, that means 2r, and then surface to corner center of this corner sphere, that means r. So you will get 4r, and 4r is equal to our face diagonal line. Okay, so for given structure or unit cell, b is equal to 4r, but we already know that b was equals to root 2a, that means relationship between face diagonal line and edge length, and in this case our b is equal to 4r. So we can say that root 2a is equal to 4r, or a is equal to 4 by root 2r, that means 2 root 2r. So this is the relationship between a and r. A is equal to 2 root 2 r for given unit cell or face center unit cell, or we can say that r is equal to a upon 2 root 2. This equation can be used in some calculations. That means if edge length is mentioned and type of unit cell is mentioned, we can use this relationship to find radius, or vice versa. If radius is mentioned and type of unit cell is mentioned, then we can use a is equal to 2 root 2r equation, so that we can find the edge length of unit cell, but we will discuss about it later. So remember this relationship, a is equal to 2 root 2r for given unit cell. Now let us find occupied volume in percentage, but before that we need to find total number of spheres. We already know that total number of spheres is equal to 4 for this case, but let us calculate it. So corner sphere contributes 1 by 8, and total we have 8 of them, so total contribution is equal to 1 sphere. Face centered sphere contributes 1 by 2, total we have 6 of them, so total contribution from face centered location 3, so you will get 4. So occupied volume in this given unit cell or face centered unit cell is equal to 4. 4 spheres occupies volume inside this unit cell. So now let us find packing efficiency of it. So as mentioned earlier, our equation will be occupied volume divided by total volume multiplied by 100. So occupied volume as mentioned in this case is equal to 4 spheres. 4 spheres occupies volume in FCC unit cell, and volume of unit cell sphere is equal to 4 by 3 pi r cube divided by total volume. Now total volume again it is for unit cell, so it will be a cube, but as mentioned earlier a is equal to 2 root 2 r, that means a cube is equal to whole cube, and it is equal to 16 root 2 r cube. Okay, so we can use this value instead of a cube in given equation. So our a cube will be now 16 root 2 r cube and multiply by 100. Okay, so now again same thing, we can cancel out common values in numerator denominator, that means r cube. Now by simply placing the value of pi you will get all the digits, and by calculation you will get 74%. That means 74% space is occupied by spheres in this type of unit cell, FCC or HCP unit cell. Same type of values will be obtained for HCP unit cell as well. Both have same packing efficiency. So 74% space is occupied and 26% is empty, that means void. Okay, so this is the packing efficiency of FCC unit cell, and it is highest. Now let us move on next unit cell. So this one is our body centered unit cell, BCC. So in this case we have 8 corner sphere and 1 body centered sphere, that means sphere present at the center of cube. So let us try to find packing efficiency of this structure, but before that we will ignore some of the spheres which we do not need. Okay, so from this structure we removed extra spheres which we do not need. They will be present inside the unit cell, but right now we are just ignoring them for the simplification. So as we can see, we have a body diagonal line passing through these spheres. Okay, you can see it. It has yellow color and it is passing through the spheres and our unit cell as well. Opposite corners of unit cells are attached via this line, that means body diagonal line. Okay, so this will be our body diagonal line C. So now what is the relationship between C and R, radius of these spheres? So as we can see in this case, first of all, corner, let us start from this corner. So corner is actually center of corner sphere. So from the center of sphere to the surface, that means R. Then diameter of body centered sphere, that means 2R. And then surface to center for opposite corner sphere, that means R. So total 4R. Again same value is obtained. So in this case, for body centered unit cell, C is equal to 4R. Remember this relation. So now let us find the relationship between A and R for PCC unit cell. So as mentioned in this case, C is equal to 4R, but we already discussed that C is equal to root 3A, that means body diagonal line is equal to root 3 multiplied by edge length of unit cell. So we can say that root 3A is equal to 4R, or A is equal to 4 by root 3R. So this will be our equation for the calculation of packing efficiency. And second equation we can derive from this equation is R is equal to root 3 by 4A. We can use it to find radius from the edge length if cell system is mentioned. Now let us find packing efficiency of this unit cell. So as mentioned earlier, occupied volume divided by total volume multiplied by 100. So in this case, occupied volume. So what will be occupied volume? So let us find the number of spheres which occupies volume in body centered unit cell. So corner sphere, it contributes 1, and body centered sphere, we have only one of them. It contributes 100%, that means 1 to unit cell, and number of them we have only 1, so total 1. So number of spheres which occupies volume inside the BCC unit cell is equal to 2. 2 spheres occupies volume. Okay, so now back to our main equation, occupied volume divided by total volume multiplied by 100. So occupied volume is equal to 2 spheres, and equation of volume of sphere 4 by 3 pi r cube divided by total volume, that means volume of cube, it is a cube multiplied by 100. Now for given equation, A is equal to 4 by root 3 r. So a cube is equal to 4 by root 3 r whole cube. So that means a cube is equal to, we can say that it is equal to 64 3 root 3 r cube. Okay, we can replace this a cube's value with this given value. So now our equation will be 8 by 3 pi r cube divided by 64 3 root 3 r cube multiplied by 100. Again r cube will be cancelled out, and by placing the value of pi you will get all the numbers, and by calculating this number you will get 68%. That means packing efficiency of BCC unit cell is equal to 68%. Okay, so what we discussed today, first of all we discussed about a relationship between diagonal lines. So face diagonal line B is equal to root 2a. Then we discussed about body diagonal line C is equal to root 3a. Then we discussed about relationship between A and R. So first of all, in primitive unit cell A is equal to 2R. Then we discussed about FCC unit cell. So in FCC unit cell is equal to 2 root 2R. And then we discussed about BCC unit cell. In BCC unit cell A is equal to 4 by root 3R. Okay, so you can create equations of R from these given equations. And then we discussed about their packing efficiency. So least packing efficient was primitive unit cell. It was 52.36 or roughly 52.4% efficient. Then we have FCC unit cells, highest packing efficient 74%, and similar efficiency will be observed for HCP as well. And then we have BCC unit cells, and they are 68% efficient. Okay, so this is our final summary of all the calculations. You have to remember these relationships. Okay, in exam if you remember these relationships, then you can quickly calculate the numericals. Okay, so remember these relationships with type of their unit cells.